part one of the 2 videos for bows made with the Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board.
Hi Stampers, this is Sharon from craftyandcreativeideas.blogspot.com. I'm here today to bring you a video how to make bows from using the Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board. If you did not see the box video for the new Stampin' Up! Punch box maker, this is the video that I had just made, and we made the box. This is the box, and if you're interested in that, hop over to that video too. So we're going to get started making some of these bows. You can use these on the top of cards. You can do them on, of course, on the top of boxes. Here's another box that I made with the larger bow, and here is the box that is on the video using the largest of the bows that I made. And then on this bow is going to be, you can put this on the front, the middle of a card, you can put it on a box, you can put it wherever you want. All of these are different sizes and different shapes. This one is a double bow and a double tail. This one's just a single bow and a single tail. This is a wider bow, which fits really nicely on those boxes. And this is just kind of a tiny one, so if you make a smaller box, or put them on the center of a card, like I said, whatever. But we're going to get started. So I think we're going to get started with the larger of the bows first. Okay, so for this bow, we're going to need, and I took all of these papers out of, which is a wreck, you can see all my scraps in here, but my Festival of Prints designer paper, which was from last year, but I'm still using a lot of this, especially when it comes to scrap pieces for bows and stuff. I try to use up my scraps. But anyways, the bow itself, you're going to need a 2x6 piece, and then for the tail, you're going to need a 2x4.5, and for the tie, you're going to need a 1/2 inch wide by 4 inch long piece. So now I take my little envelope punch board, and I'm going to take my longest piece, and that one is 6 inches. So I'm going to lay this into the 3 inch mark. So I'm going to put it right there onto the 3 inch, and I'm going to punch, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing, 3 and punch. So I end up with a piece like this. On the 4.5 inch piece, you're going to put that in at 2 1/4. So you're going to slide this over to the 2 1/4 mark, and you're going to do the same thing, just punch, flip it, and punch. Okay, now on the shorter piece, the 4 inch piece, the 4.5 inch pins, you're going to take that into your punch the other direction, and you're going to punch, rotate it, and punch. And on the larger piece, you're going to line up, let me get some of these scraps out of here. You're going to line up your paper so that it is just on the outside of the inside, if you can see in here. I don't know how to twist this board so that you can see it, but you want to do it so the blade is just pretty much catching it, so your paper is going to be right to the edge of that plastic. And you're going to punch, go to the other side, do the same thing here. Now we want to take our bone folder, and on the larger one that's our bow, we're going to just break the fibers. Then I'm going to take, on the inside, I'm going to put a little glue dot on both edges, here and here. Okay, so now I've put my glue dot on there. So now I'm going to bend this forward, and I'm just going to match up. It's easier sometimes if you turn the paper the other way so that you can see, like, from the back end. You don't want the inside of the bow to sticking out. You want to match this up and then press the glue dot to it. And then the same thing on this side. Line it up so that your edges are matching. Now if you do have some showing, then just trim it off. Okay. Then the tail, what I like to do on the tail, I'll show you after I've hooked this on. So now I'm going to take a glue dot on the back of this, and I'm going to glue dot this to the tails. Then I take my little strip, I'm going to wrap that around the center. So now I bent that around the back and I glue dot that. Then I took red glimmer paper and I punched it with my boho punch, the center flower, and I used the largest of the gems from our rhinestones, and I placed that with a glue dot onto the center of the bow, so it ended up this way. So that's number one bow. My next bow, you're going to cut the pieces 1 by 6 inches, 1 by 4.5 inches, and then 1/4 inch wide and 1 1/4 long. Taking the punch board again, we're going to take the piece that's 6 inches, line it up to the 3-inch mark, punch, flip, and 3 inches again and punch. On the 4.5 inch part, you're going to line that up to the 2 1/4 inch mark, punch, flip, punch. Same thing. Then we're going to line up the shorter piece in the center of the punch. So now you've got these on the edges. And on the larger one, we're going to line it up to the edge of the inside, so you'll see it where the blade is just catching it. You're going to line this up, punch, same thing on the opposite side, same thing on the opposite side. You're going to take the glue dot, put it on the center here again, bend forward. You will end up with a gap, and that's normal, okay? Then you're going to put a glue dot on the center. Take the bow, and now you're going to lay that on top of the tails. Then you're going to take the small piece, wrap it around the bow. You'll put a glue dot and glue them together. I punched out some gold glimmer paper and put a rhinestone in the middle. You could put that onto the center of it. Now I took the very last step that I took on this was, I like these flagged off instead of the curvy look in here. So I just take from the corner and I just nip this to the center point so that it just is a straighter look to it. It just sits better with me. Now for the smaller bow, you're going to construct them exactly the same, except the smaller one is going to use a 1 by 6 and a 1 by 3.5 for your tail, and then a 1/4 inch by 1 1/4. So you'll be doing the same exact thing as we did on the other bow, except when you measure, these are going to be 3-inch punches, and this being it's a 3.5 inch, you're going to punch it at 1 3/4. For this bow, I took 2 pieces that were 1 by 4 3/4, and I punched at 2 3/8. Flipped it and I did 2 3/8 again. On one of the 4 3/4, I bent it upward. I wanted to make sure these are even, so try not to crease the edges, and then I went into the center of this. And I just punched, turned it around, and did in the center again, and then punched. That way they're perfectly even. Other piece, I just cut it in half. And then for the tail, I put it in here lengthwise on both of them. And I took the tails and I squared them off from the corner just to get that little scoopy mark off of there. You don't have to. That's just my preference. I just like it a little sharper cut. Then I just laid my 2 bows out to see what direction I wanted them. I took a little glue dot, put it on the back of the one piece so that it'll stick to the other, like so. And then I took this little piece and I wrapped it around. Just take what you need, snip off the rest, and then bring it along and it'll stick to hopefully that same glue dot. And then, because this is such a tiny bow, I take a little pencil and just kind of roll the paper on the pencil a little, just to lift it up. And then once again, take a little glue dot, put it on the back of your bow, then lay your bow onto your tails and cut out a little. I used my Boho punch the 3rd middle flower, I used that, and some glimmer paper, and I used the larger rhinestone, and then I just put that into the center. You don't have to, you can leave it whatever way you want.
Please continue on to bows part 2 to view the tutorial for the last 2 bows.